Back when they were unknowns. Even in their native Sweden, hardly anyone had heard of them. But exactly 50 years ago, inside this building, ABBA captured top spot at Eurovision and the imagination of the world. ABBA was one of 17 acts competing in 1974. At the time, no one could have predicted the international stardom that awaited Agneta, Bjorn, Benny and Anna Fried. So, people's surprising encounters with the band, chance meetings that were merely amusing at the time, now have their own place on the history book on the shelf.
The history book on the shelf is almost repeating itself. Waterloo.
Over 1,500 people watched the show in the audience that night. Playing host to the exhibition, ABBA, 1 week in Brighton, it was right here at Brighton Dome that ABBA came face to face with stardom. But they met a lot of people along the way. 70s pop icon Leo Sayer was not performing that night, but he and his manager, David Courtney, watched the show from backstage, and they were staying at Brighton's Metropole Hotel, where all the acts had rooms.
I remember Leo and I sitting there in the lobby of the Metropole Hotel, and these 4 characters walked in this outfit. And I remember him looking at me and me looking at him going, are they sure about this? and I said to him, do you know who they are? And he said, yeah, that's the Swedish act. I thought, oh, well, maybe that explains it.
Before ABBA, first up was Finland.
My friend, still little while.
And then the UK's performer, Olivia Newton-John. Country after country took to the stage singing their hearts out. And then it was ABBA's turn. What did you think as soon as you heard those first chords of Waterloo?
Yeah, hit. They always say, if you haven't grabbed them in the first 8 bars or so, forget it.
Peter O'Byrne was the official Eurovision backstage photographer, and his daughter Jackie was lucky enough to tag along to the show she would never forget. When ABBA performed, did you think this is going to be a moment in history?
Definitely. The energy as the 2 women bounded out from the sides, and they just lit up. They just wanted to party and boogie, and they looked at this boring auditorium and they were determined to make it go mad.
Once all of the acts had performed, it was a nail-biting wait as the results came in. Olivia Newton-John came 4th, which is respectable. Then nation after nation, with the exception of the UK, gave their points to ABBA, who were crowned the winners with a score of 24. Brighton local Reginald Woodhouse missed the performance. That night, he was in the pub with some friends, including Liam, a journalist who was supposed to be covering the event. They all went to the after-show party. And what happened inside?
Inside, Liam said, can you go and try and find out who actually won? And so myself and some other friends went off in different directions and saw this lady there dressed very flamboyantly. And I said, excuse me, who won? And she just punched the air and said, we did.
It was an incredible night. Next morning, the band headed back to London. Bill was their taxi driver. And what were they like when ABBA got in your cab?
I mean, obviously they were excited. And as we were going up there, they played the ABBA song. And they were tapping the seats in tune with the ABBA song.
So hang on, you got a concert from ABBA in your cab?
Fantastic, I know, but that's what they do.
The 6th of April 1974 sealed ABBA's fate. They would become a supergroup that has touched the lives of millions across the world. And I'm so glad that 50 years on, we're still talking about the night an unknown band made music history.